The waiting list assessment is a tool that should have been put in place many, many years ago by the Department of Developmental Disabilities. Sometimes the need takes a while to catch up with the system, and that's what has happened here. We've had waiting lists for a long time, as far back as I can remember, going back into the last century, into the early 90s. So the criteria at that time was just whatever date anybody asked to be put on the waiting list. That sounded good at the time. The reality of it was that sometimes a person really didn't need to be on the waiting list because they didn't have a need, but they had an earlier date. So the Department of DD, they tackled the issue, and the waiting list assessment is now the basis for a person's placement on the waiting list. So a person's number on the waiting list is based on assessed need, and that's what this assessment is all about, to assess the needs of people needing services in Perry County, and as well as all over the state. This is not just happening in Perry County, it's happening in every county in the state. So where an individual is placed on our waiting list for services now, once we go through this process, will be based on their assessed need, not on a date that happened it just happened to come in earlier than somebody else who has more significant needs, but we're not able to serve them because someone else got there first. So I think that even though some people might be unhappy with some of the changes in numbering, I don't think anyone can contest the fact that now people will be on a waiting list for services based on their needs that have been assessed by an unbiased assessor. We as a county board are responsible, now that the state has changed the rules, that we're responsible to assess individuals for placement on the waiting list. And to do this, we're partnering with the Mid-East Ohio Regional Council of Government, MEORC. They've partnered with us in over a period of 20 plus, I think closer to 30 years, and we've worked with them in a multitude of situations. They have always done their work well. So when you let them into your home, when they come and work with you, they're doing it on our behalf. You can expect them to ask questions. How they ask those questions will probably depend on the interaction between the person, the family, and the assessor. The bottom line is you can expect fairness. This is not the county board coming out hoping we can get certain people in certain places. That's one reason why we want to work with MEORC. They will come in. They have nothing involved in this except to be fair and honest and transparent. I would encourage people, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. The assessor will be able to either give you an answer or they'll be able to get the information for you. Going through this waiting list assessment process will be helpful for the people that we support and people who are waiting on us to provide supports to them by giving them a place on the waiting list for services that's based on their needs, not based on just an arbitrary date. So this will help us as a county board to plan for the service needs of individuals who are going to need our supports. Currently, we just have numbers, and so we have to work with those numbers, and those numbers at times can be overwhelming because even though we try to assess that need, we can't always get it done in a way that's systematic. So this will help us as a county board to plan, not just for the near future, but farther out, because we have a responsibility for individuals throughout the course of their life. So we don't know who in the next 5 or 10 years may need our services at a fairly intense rate. So this will help us plan. And by helping us plan, we can manage our dollars so that we can meet the needs as they come up without turning around, running back to taxpayers all the time, say, hey, give us more money. It helps us plan for our dollars, which we hope then will help the community see that we're efficiently using the funds that they give us to support people. When people go through the assessment process, if the assessment finds that they don't meet the criteria to be on the waiting list for waiver services, that does not mean we as a county board don't provide services. Medicaid waivers are one form of support we have for people. We have other means of support. We do provide support through day programming that the county will pay for. We provide support through some residential pieces, again, that we pay for. We have family support services. We have our service coordinators. We connect people with community resources and natural supports. So sometimes people confuse being supported by Medicaid through the county board as really the only service we do. We have other supports, and that's thanks to the taxpayers of Perry County who support us through our tax levy, so we do have funds to support people who don't qualify for Medicaid waivers. So don't think that, oh, I have no hope, or the county board's not going to help me. Yes, we will. It just may not be with the same funding stream. And I think it's important for people to remember that this assessment is about a funding stream for supporting people. It's not about whether or not we as the county board are able to be involved in supporting them in the life they want.